Welcome back to part 2 of Judges chapter 1. So, in part 1, we talked about Christophanies. Here we're going to talk about all of the pagans that were allowed to stay amongst with and do forced labor for the Israelite tribes. Now, that necessarily would not be an issue, except for God told them to drive them out completely. It is my thought that God is telling these folks to drive out the pagans completely because he does not want the pagan influence in and amongst his people. Because when the pagans are partying and they're having their wild, crazy sex magic parties and they're doing their drunken, whatever pagan rituals, and I'm not going to encourage you to read Canaanite history, but if you make that mistake, you'll find that it pales in comparison to what you're thinking. I promise you. Every evil thought you ever had, the pagans lived it regularly. But it all, in the short term, sin looks fun. So you got all these Israelites, they're following Yahweh, and Yahweh's saying, hey, walk the straight and narrow. And the forced laborers are over here having really big, wild parties. And you're like, that kind of looks fun. And, Balaam and Zeus and all these other gods look a little bit more exciting. That is why, in my opinion, Yahweh wanted the Canaanites driven out, because he didn't want the pagan influence on his people, because we all are tempted by sin, and he was looking out for his people and saying, hey, don't do this. Now, had the Canaanites simply surrendered to Christ and changed, then I think they would have been welcomed in. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. Part 2. Y'all be safe.